Hey everyone, this is a video response to Schnee. Schnee has a really cool channel. He's basically a CD collector and fan, which makes him a little more unique. And I hope you'll go over to his channel and subscribe and consider taking part maybe in a response. You could make a video response to this for him, or you could just go over to his actual video and put your choices down in his comments. Okay, it's called the Trinity Challenge. And what it is you have to come up with an artist who has at least 6 albums or more. They can have 6 or more. And you have to see if you can pick your 3 best albums from these artists and put them consecutively in order. They have to be in a row, 3 in a row. It could be any part. It could be their first 3, their last 3, middle 3, but somewhere where you feel that all of their work or their albums are the best 3, or I don't know if I understand 100% if it has to be the best or just 3 albums that you like consecutively. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm not saying this is necessarily the best, but it's kind of more or less what I think are 3 solid albums. Now, before I start, I'll say I didn't do the Beatles because the Beatles, of course, I can easily find 3 consecutive albums or more that I like. And I also discovered, strangely enough, that I had a very hard time doing it with the solo Beatles. You know, even though I like John, Paul, George, and Ringo's solo careers, I had a difficult time coming up with 3 consecutive albums from John, Paul, and George that were all back-to-back really good. That's how I looked at it. It was difficult to do. But I only came up in the end with 2 artists. And here we go. I came up first with Joan Jett. And what I did was I decided to show CDs for Joan Jett because, Stephen Schnee likes CDs. So there's released originally in 1980, the first album, Bad Reputation. And then the next album, released in 1981, I Love Rock and Roll. And finally, the 3rd album in a row that I think were all good, 1983's album called simply Album. All right. So those are the 3 that I got for Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And then I found out that this next artist has a few patches where there are good albums. And this particular artist, I could have went and showed at least 4 albums that I thought were consecutively good. I'm going with Bob Dylan, and I'm showing vinyl here. This is Bringing It All Back Home from 1965, which is a good album, one of my very favorites by him. And then the next album, Highway 61 Revisited, also from 1965. So that's number 2. And finally, an album that may surprise people. I'll explain why. I put Blonde on Blonde from 1966. I've come to enjoy this album. A long time ago, I made a video calling this an overrated album. And, people think it's one of the greatest things since sliced bread. I wouldn't go that far, but it's a good album. And it's 3 good Dylan albums in a row. Or I could go the other way and start from 1964 and put another side of Bob Dylan and then show up to Highway 61, whichever way you want to go. But anyway, that's a short but sweet video. Once again, I would like you to consider giving your comments down here, going over to Stephen Schnee's original video. Also, before I forget, I want to thank Matthew Street. Matthew Street made a video response to this, and it was Matthew's video that actually alerted me to the fact that Stephen Schnee even did this little project. So, sorry I don't have more, but a lot of times what I discovered was, I have a lot of hits collections, compilations by most artists that I like. Very difficult to find 3 studio albums. And by the way, if you do this, they can't be live albums. There got to be no compilations and no live albums, just studio albums. That's part of the rules. Very hard to find that. I'm sure after the video is done, I'll sit back and think, I could have thought of this, that, or that, this artist, that artist, and I forgot. One thing I want to bring up, I cannot agree with Stephen Schnee, something that he said in his video. I thought of it, but he said that one of the obvious picks would be Fleetwood Mac self-titled album from 70, 5, I think it is, and then Rumors from 77, and then Tusk from 79. I don't care for Tusk, so it doesn't work for me, but definitely like the first two that I mentioned. Anyway, hope you'll consider giving your thoughts here, and some of you may be making a video. Take care.